Hi guys. People ask me all the time, is it possible to really stop binging? And the answer is absolutely yes. How do I know? From personal experience. So I'm going to give you a couple of my top tips on how I got over my binge eating, what people would call a binge eating disorder. First, let me preface it by saying that I was told that there's no such thing as healing and that I would always suffer with this problem, and I'm just going to tell you that that's a lie. So a couple of things I did to get over my binge eating, transform my life, was first and foremost, I admitted that I couldn't freaking do this on my own. So in a sense, it's kind of like the AA way. I wasn't involved in AA, but it basically says you release it to a higher power. Because for so long I was trying to do it all on my own, and I was reading, and I could have told you how many calories were in pretty much anything that ever went into my mouth, and I could tell you how to do the newest, latest, greatest workout craze. My hair's going crazy. It's wind. But none of it worked. And so I finally said, you know what? God, I can't do this. Like, help me out. I was struggling from massive anxiety, and I couldn't barely get out of bed, let alone stop binge eating. So first and foremost, I released it. And then the second thing that I did is I took it just one moment at a time, one day at a time. Sometimes I would break it down to like, okay, for 10 seconds, I'm not gonna binge eat. For the next 30 minutes, I'm not gonna binge eat. Just for today, I can do anything. Just for today, I can not eat this whole pizza. And the crazy thing is that those days added up little by little, and eventually it made me stronger and stronger and stronger. And eventually that girl who used to binge and that gained all this weight and started really changing. And then the third thing I did is, even though I wasn't binging anymore, I realized I still had a lot of fear around food. And what I ended up doing is I got a coach, which was a huge thing for me because I was so worried that having a coach would send me back into a binge eating spiral. But it did just the opposite, actually. It took me out of my own head, and it helped me to give all that stress and anxiety around food, give permission to somebody else to be in charge of that. And the beautiful thing is, it started happening as I started losing weight, and I started just making changes and just becoming the woman that I was supposed to be, that I always knew I could be. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. So those are my top 3 tips to really just stop binge eating once and for all. So one, you have to say, you know what, I can't do this on my own. God, help me. Please help me. And then you have to take it just for one day at a time. And then I would highly encourage you to get yourself a coach, work with somebody, because it takes you out of your own head. And that's one of the biggest reasons people have eating disorders, or struggle to lose weight, or struggle to not make progress in life, because they're in their own head and they're in their own thoughts. And sometimes you got to be willing to let somebody else in. All right. So that's all I've got for you today on that. Hit me up if you have questions. You can email me, sarah@sarahwallacelife.com, or send me a message on Facebook, Sarah Wallace Life. So same as Instagram, Sarah Wallace Life. So I look forward to connecting with you guys, and hopefully in the future we can work together. Take care.